Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Saddest Night Out. My name is Roy, and I'm the host of this daily podcast, and it's primarily about music and creative culture in London. Today's episode was once again recorded after an open mic. I was at the Nelsons in Hoxton. I'm there every Thursday. Go to ukopenmic.com to see the open mic nights that I help to run. Also, before I get into the interview, quick reminder that I have a couple of live shows coming up next Sunday at the Stag's Head in Hoxton. That's Sunday 16th of June at the Stag's Head in Hoxton, and Tuesday 25th of June at Roadtrip and The Workshop on Old Street. They are both free entry. The Sunday show starts at 5. The Tuesday show, I think, starts at 8. So it'd be great if you could come on down and put a face to this voice. Back to today's episode. After the open mic night at the Nelsons, I've been there, I think, 2 months or so now. And one of the everyone there is wonderful, but one of the particularly wonderful people at the Nelsons is a lady named Grace, who was having her last shift at the Nelsons last night. So I got a chance to just catch up with her on the eve of her imminent departure from London. She came to London from Brisbane, Australia, 2 years ago. In fact, as she says in the episode, it's another accidental anniversary. She arrived in London, I think, exactly 2 years ago to the day of us having this conversation. It's just, there's something weird in the air right now. So I actually said to Grace after our chat that some of these podcasts can almost act like digital postcards, digital timestamps of a time and place. So who knows, maybe 5, 10, 20 years from now, whoever you're with, you could say, oh yeah, I did this interview once upon a time while I was living in London, and this is what life was like for me back then. So with that being said, this is me talking to Grace on her last day at the Nelsons. Enjoy this chat, and I'll catch up with you more in a bit. I am in the Nelsons. The open mic night is finished. I'm here with one of the diamonds of this place who will soon be leaving us. What's your name, please?
Grace.
Grace, when did you first come to London?
Came to London, actually my flight left 2 years ago today. So yeah, technically arrived tomorrow. Yeah. 2 years ago. Tomorrow, 2 years ago, yeah. So.
And where were you travelling from?
Brisbane in Australia.
So why all the way here? What made you want to come here?
Pretty much the short answer is just something to do, just something different. Like,
are you that bored back in
No,
Brisbane?
it's not. It was like when you've had I don't know. It's just so much to process post high school, and I'd graduated and done a couple of years outside of school, and I'd met someone and we were meant to come here together, and then it was really great to meet that person because they pushed me to come here, and then I ended up starting my own journey here on my own, and it was just. It was a no-plan pretty much. It was just come somewhere and just try something different. That was it.
It's pretty brave. I've got to respect that.
Thank you.
So, your own journey here.
Yeah.
Highlights, lowlights, big changes. Did you come in here with no expectations then? Just whatever happens, happens?
Yeah, no expectations. My kind of rough plan was I'm going to do a year in London, then I'll move somewhere else in the UK, and here I am 2 years later. Haven't really moved much from East London.
Kind of caught the bug.
Yeah. Travelling around Europe and whatnot has been really great. That's and meeting so many people. It's insane. The opportunity to grow that London can provide you is just insane. I was talking to my friend last night actually. She's she posted a thing on Instagram being I've never been so broke or poor in my life, but I'm so happy about it. And she was I just feel like a small fish in a massive pond. I'm I feel like London to me is that you can be the biggest fish ever in this massive pond, and everyone is so accepting of your space, and for you to be able to express yourself and trial new things. And I've just appreciated London so much for that, and it's just been, my whole 2 years have been the highlight. I can't even say. Of course, I've had my shit all bad times, but
okay, you can swear.
Okay, good.
It's marked at split.
Okay, good.
Sorry, Mum and Dad, they listen to it. They'll go with it.
But yeah, of course, there's been crappy times, but because the pace of life in London is so quick, you know that no matter what, it's gonna change, and something's gonna happen, and everything's gonna work itself out. So
was it a massive culture shock from Brisbane? Was it?
Not massive, but definitely noticeable in terms of there was definitely a culture shock involved. Just because where I'm from in Australia, we're just very I don't know. I feel like even though we're quite a progressive country, we're still like 2 steps back sometimes in terms of like really understanding people and wanting to just, I don't know, actually take the step and interact with people that we wouldn't usually interact with. Whereas in London, you're so surrounded by so many people from different countries and walks of life, and so many talented people and people who are so business focused, and it's just like that was definitely the difference. There's more opportunity to meet people here because there's always such a high turnover of people as well. So
is it I get the impression maybe Brisbane is the kind of place where it's really obvious when an outsider arrives. It's like, they're not from here, they're someone different. Whereas here, everyone's an outsider. Yeah. So everyone kind of just gets on with it and mingles in with everyone.
It's so strange.
Yeah.
It's like, So I've loved it here. I'm like, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back.
But you're going to some places before you go back, is that right? So where are you going to first?
I land in France and then go straight to San Sebastian, and then I'm going to be doing the Camino de Santiago, so walking from San Sebastian to Santiago.
What country is that in?
Spain. Yeah.
Wow. How long is that walk?
I think it's just over 800 k's.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So you're an outdoorsy type thing.
Yeah, most of the time. I can't say I've done much hiking in my life, but this is just going to be like let's test it and see how it goes kind of thing.
Kind of like coming to London, yeah? Let's try it out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and it'll be a really great way to process my time in London without much stimulus, and then also process what I'm walking into, back into Australia. It's that good middle ground. I'm doing a little bit of traveling after that as well, which will be good to ease back into regular life pace, because when you're doing something like the Camino, you're doing walking tourism, so it's just slow, and I don't know, you're doing something quite repetitive every day, so it's just you have to try and gear yourself up back to everyone else's level after that, which it'll be really interesting. I'm ready for it.
And if there was anything you could tell Grace from 2 years ago when she first stepped off the plane into big old London, any advice, any warnings, anything at all that you could tell her, what would you say?
Probably just, you got this, don't worry. You got this. It's going to be hard and it's going to really test you, but you got this. It's fine.
Well, I'll say to Grace now, who's about to leave, you got this.
Thank you.
Don't worry about it. That walk might be a bit hard, but you got this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us here at the Nelsons. It won't be the same without you.
Thank you.
No tears, I promise, no tears.
Yeah,
I'll look forward to... It's funny, the episode I did yesterday,
it
was 1 year after the first time I spoke to that person.
Wow.
So you saying this is 2 years since you arrived in London.
Yeah.
I'll see you the next 2 years.
Yeah.
We'll make it a little anniversary tradition of ours and see what's happened since then.
Let's do it.
Thanks a lot, Grace.
Thank you so much.
And that was that. Thank you so much, Grace. We're really going to miss you at the Nelsons. I'll miss you just in general. It's been wonderful meeting you and getting to know you. I hope you have a safe journey ahead. And who knows? I trust that our paths will cross again at some point in the future. Maybe in another 2 years. Who knows? I've already got, 6th of June 2020 booked for Nielsen from yesterday's episode. So, hey, 7th of June 2021, I'll see you there. As for me, I am waking up way more tired than I normally am these days. Last night was another late night home. I think I left the Nelsons just before midnight. I got there late because I planned to get an Uber, but then my bank account kindly informed me that I will not be getting an Uber today. So I added about half an hour to my journey. So the music started about 7:30 instead of 7. And it was another one of those nights where at the start, because you can sign up online at our nights, ukopenmic.com. We've got open mic nights all across London. 2 tonight, actually. One at Anise Bar by Liverpool Street Station and the other at the King's Head by Bayswater Station near Hyde Park. East and West covered. So on my side of the website, I can see how many people have signed up for each night. There were a few weeks at the Nelsons when we were having quite a few people each night. And then a couple of weeks in a row, at the start of the night, it looked really quiet. But then as the night went on, people showed up and, well, the night became what it was. And it was the same last night. So I arrived late, but I thought it might not be too big of a deal because there weren't too many people signed up. But then by about 8:30, 9, the number of people on the list had doubled. I don't know. I mean, I'm grateful. I'm grateful anyone comes to our nights. In fact, on the Wednesday night in Camden, I had one performer who was performing in front of people for the first time ever, which is always a joy to see. They had a Squire electric guitar, same as the guitar that I've got. They played an Arctic Monkeys cover, which is always a bit of a green light for me, like, that's interesting. And then I asked them if they'd ever been in a band before, and they said they'd been a drummer. And I said a little Hail Mary inside my head when they said that, so I'm keeping in touch with them. And it just might be another piece of the puzzle that I need for my band to be continued. I'm still looking at performing solo at my shows, so what I need to do is work on my backing track. Today I'm hoping to do some recording at Caffrey Studios, which I haven't done before, so that will be interesting, although the weather isn't great and I'm running a bit late because I just keep waking up later and later these days. It's as if my limbs feel twice as heavy each time I wake up. Getting home late probably isn't helping, but that's an occupational hazard. So I'm planning to go to Caffrey, do some recording, maybe stop by a Nice bar to talk to the person who's hosting there tonight, because his name is Anton, and it will be his first time hosting one of our open mics by himself. Then I'll head to King's Head for business as usual. Even my speech is getting slow because of how tired I am. Come on. Maybe a brisk walk in the rain out there will do me some good. Otherwise, thank you all very much for listening. Grace, we love you. We'll miss you. We'll see you again soon, hopefully. Have fun on that walk in Spain. El Camino, was it that she called it? You're a braver person than me, so best of luck to you. Saw quite a few people last night, actually, who hadn't been to our open mics in a while. Hello to Niraj. Hello to Paper Katie. Hello to the Knox, if you ever listen to this. Also, some excellent newcomers as well. Connor, who's also flying back to Australia. Great to meet you. Alicia, Karen, lovely to have you all down. And I am getting better at exchanging information in the hopes of having a future conversation for the podcast. So stay tuned. Hopefully all the people I've just mentioned will have their own episodes at some point. That's all from me. Once again, got 2 shows coming up. Sunday, 16th of June at the Stag's Head in Hoxton. Tuesday, 25th of June at Roadtrip and The Workshop on Old Street. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Look after yourselves. Take care.